This is a mainspring winder, and it takes place of the arbor that you see in the background here, and we're going to pop all that into this mainspring barrel. And it basically consists of an arbor that you wind up the spring into a device like this. This will feed into there. Let's get that in focus. uh, let's see, maybe it just show. This will feed like so into that slot, and you basically you just wind it. You just wind it up, and it's going to get captured inside. It's out of the shot now because it's kind of so. Here we go. So I just wind, as you can see with my left hand, I wind that into this little holder. This is basically taking place of the barrel. Are we in focus? There's a little better shot. And I'm turning that toward me and slowly coming in, and there's the tail end of the mainspring. This is very difficult to video on this microscope because of the faster action. Maybe I can focus a little better. And I want to get that end tucked into the mainspring winder. Here's an end view of what we have to deal with. We have to get that part right there inside. It's very difficult to film or video because I'm not using film. It's not the right word. I don't know if that's in the video, but you can see it feeding in, and now it's captured inside, and I can slowly let this knurled part unwind. Let's get a better focus here. And I'm going to go counterclock. I'm going to go opposite the direction that I turned this, and slowly extract it. And there's that little tab that connected onto the spring, and it'll slowly come out. So that was a success. Basically, here's what we have. We have the mainspring captured inside this device. On the other end, if you look here, it's brass. That is a brass plunger connected to this end of the mainspring winder. So I can push on this right here while inside the barrel, and it'll just snap right in there. This has, let's see if we can get in a shot here. The mainspring locks into the barrel with that slot at the top. One other thing I like to do, if I can find it, I guess it doesn't matter right now. You want to get that. There's a tab at the end of the mainspring, as close to that as possible. Hopefully you land it and it goes right in first try. If not, no big deal. It can be manipulated and turned. The grease spots you see, it's not really grease, it's Mobius 8200. I put a few dabs of that on there, and it wicks into the mainspring when it's installed. I do it on both sides, and it helps lubricate that spring. So I'm going to turn this like so. So that slot is about 9 o'clock. The tab that goes into that slot, I'm going to roughly estimate where it is in relation to it, and I just pop it in push on the plunger, and there it is. It's installed. Now, is that slot lined up with the tab? Good question. We're going to find out. One of the things I like to use is a plastic movement holder, and that allows gripping of the barrel. Yes, I'm out of the shot. I'm adjusting the movement holder, plastic movement holder, to hold on to that. Come on, dummy. So back it up. Back it up so everybody sees. There it is, my plastic movement holder. And this allows you to grip that without damaging it, because it's plastic. Nice soft plastic. There you go. And you should be able to get a look on the other side, maybe not, but we can pop this back out, get a look at that. Did we get that tab in the slot? That's the question. Is the tab in the slot? I'm going to say no, because you can see light through that slot. The tab did not engage. So it goes back into the holder. Plastic holder, grips it nicely. You don't want to kill it, don't want to deform it, knock it out around. So there's our tab. Yes, this is a lengthy video. It really doesn't take this long to put a mainspring in. It's just trying to video this is quite difficult. This tab has to be pushed in this direction until it finds that slot. And you'll feel it. It'll kind of like drop in. And I think I just felt it right there. And you can verify it. You can verify it on both sides. This side, because it dropped in, or it's close. Take a look. Not quite. Okay, it's starting to feed in. I know the video, it's tough to video this. It's really difficult. So back into the movement holder. Back to focusing. If I had a couple grand, I can get one of these that's autofocus, but I don't have that. So here we go. Back to it. Come on. Maybe we are in. I think we are. I think we are engaged. Tough to focus this close. So, I'm going to pull that out one more time. It's out of the shot. I have a loop looking at it. So yes, it is, maybe this would help. It is installed. It did drop in. You can still see light through it. Here's my problem. Speaking of light, I was trying to use some ambient light, but it wasn't working so good. So, call me a dummy. Focus in there. So there's our tab. Our tab is installed. You can still see light through it, but it is installed. So call me an idiot for not turning on the light and using the sunlight coming through the window, which wasn't enough. That screws up my focus. It screws up everything else. It's dope. I can work in the dark, basically. Go figure. but for this purpose, working in the dark isn't so good. Not so good. Genius. Now, we're handling this thing pretty good, and we may have some particulates, as you can see right there. Well, we'll just come in with a little Rotico, take care of that, knock it all out. I come in with a screwdriver onto that tab. It's not moving. That thing's golden, beautiful. Hey, it only took all day to get this done. Here is a little bit of 8200. We're going to put a smear on the inside of that and a smear down here. Not much, just a smear. That long ass video, I know. And then we orient the winder hub, I guess you would call it. You can see that little tab that's going to engage the slot, and you just kind of nudge it, wiggle it, move it around. Let's get this orange pad out of the way. So it's installed, but it's not engaged. So I like to grip the arbor and then turn the mainspring barrel until it snaps in. I think I heard it snap in. And it did. If you look real closely, right in that spot is where it's engaged. It's tough to photograph right here with this bright light, but it's in there. Trust me, it's in there. The next piece to go on is going to be the cap. I call it a cap. I don't know what it's called, but that's going to get a little bit of, that's going to get a smear, a little drop of 8200. We just want to work that around. A little bit of 8200 on the arbor end where that goes through. Now, some people will tell you, mostly watchmakers, that you need a device to close this up. I've had great success without using a device. Basically, pick it up with your fingers, squeeze it shut, it'll snap in. So because this has this little tab, we're going to line the tab with the slot on this side as well. And you'll see it. It'll line up. Let's turn this around. There's our, let me get out of that bright light. There's our tab. Our tab through that slot. Yes. The lighting is very bright. There's a shot of it. So you get the idea. Basically, I'll grab it with tweezers. Now, of course, I moved it. And I'm going to pick it up, loosen the movement holder, and I just pick it up, and with fingernails and fingers, I don't know if you heard it snap, but it did. It snapped shut, and there you have it. I'm going to wipe this down with Rotico since I touched it. I'm going to blow it with the blower to get any kind of, we got a high spot right there. Hear that? Snaps right in. Yeah, this is a long-winded video. Good Lord. So there's our tab through the slot. It's all concentric. I'm going to wipe it down with Rotico, blow off any dust. But that is the procedure for a mainspring. Mainspring winders, you get them online. I get them on eBay for vintage ones for cheap. There you go. Look at that tab. See that tab through the slot? Ah, that's genius. No, it's not. Get them on eBay. They're relatively cheap. However, some of them are worn out. Those things don't always wind up. You got to be careful what you find. They're not always cheap. New. I think I got 2 sets for, I don't know, $50 a set through the years. So, enough with the chatter. There's our mainspring assembly. Stay tuned for the gear train assembly.